President-elect Biden's team says they will move forward with or without President Trump's concession. Biden said today the longer the president delays, the more lives could be lost due to the pandemic. President-elect Joe Biden trying to move forward with a smooth transition tonight, facing a number of crises, including the pandemic.
We're going into a very dark winter.
But without President Trump authorizing his administration to work with Biden's team, progress is being stifled. Biden says Trump's refusal to accept reality will likely cost lives, since Biden's team does not have access to vital government information on the pandemic.
More people may die if we don't coordinate.
President Trump's refusal to engage on the pandemic is angering governors from both parties who are seeing COVID cases rise to record levels.
We're in the middle of a war, and we don't know who the general's going to be.
Some governors fighting the virus are even under fire from the administration. Dr. Scott Atlas, a member of the White House Coronavirus Task Force, tweeted, "The only way this stops is if people rise up," after Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer issued new COVID restrictions in the state.
The idea that the president's now existing, remaining advisor on COVID is saying that they should resist. What the hell's the matter with these guys?
As President Trump refuses to concede, he tweeted yesterday that Biden had won, but then claimed he won.
I interpret that as Trumpianism. No change in his modus operandi.
Biden's former partner, President Obama, said on 60 Minutes last night that President Trump needed to think beyond his own ego and concede.
My advice to President Trump is if you want, at this late stage in the game, to be remembered as somebody who put country first, it's time for you to do the same thing.
The former president also compared Trump to Richie Rich, calling him the complaining, lying, doesn't take responsibility for anything type of figure. Former First Lady Michelle Obama weighed in, writing that she warmly welcomed Melania Trump to the White House during the 2016 transition, despite being angry with Trump for spreading racist lies about my husband that had put my family in danger. And while Trump has not admitted defeat, his national security advisor today became the highest-ranking official to acknowledge Mr. Biden publicly as the next president.
If the Biden-Harris ticket is determined to be the winner, and it's, obviously things look that way now, we'll have a very professional transition from the National Security Council. There's no question about it.
No one seems to know when the president will accept the outcome of the election. Loyola law professor Jessica Levinson says the longer Trump waits, the more potential peril there is facing the country.
I think the end game is to try and have a really noisy exit, to try and make it as difficult for President-elect Biden as is possible. And I can't really think of another end game right now. The other is that by saying we're not going to allow this information, these funds to be freed up for a transition, it allows the lawsuits to go forward with a straight face.
And speaking of those lawsuits, the president and his campaign continue to try and litigate the election in multiple states. So far, there has been no credible evidence of widespread fraud, and Trump's legal team has not scored any major victories in court.